Hey guys, this is Carrie, and in this video we're going to look at adding comments to our tech blog. So I've got a number of different windows open. First I've got my locally hosted version of my blog. You can tell it's locally hosted because it's file dot dot slash slash slash. I have the version of my blog that's on GitHub. So far these match exactly. I've also got my GitHub repository for the blog open. This blog.html file is the one that is creating this web page. I also have the code open. This code is going to correspond, since it's on my computer, to the locally hosted version. And then lastly, I've got a little image here of our blog. So I figured we'd start with the image. Right now, every blog post has a header, or sorry, a title that's an H2, an author that's an H3, and just so you can see these things, I'll move this over. An image with a source. We've got a couple of paragraphs. And we have the whole thing encapsulated in this black border. And you'll remember in one of the previous videos that the thing that created the border and the yellow background, actually, why don't I just make the background yellow? And the yellow background is a div element. So I'm going to go back to black and I will just add that this is the start of a div up here. And we gave that div a class of something like blog post so that we could style everything. So we started our div here, and then we ended our div here. So in order to create a comment, we're actually going to do a really similar thing. We're going to create a div inside of a div. So we're going to put our comment box somewhere down here. So because we're talking about it like a box, we have that idea that it's a div. So let me just choose some colors. I'll use magenta and then a background that is orange. And we can just put that box down here, and that box will correspond to a comment. And actually what we could do is we could even put multiple comments. So maybe we'll have one comment, and then we'll have another comment down here. So in order to create those comments, we're going to be using the div elements just like before. So we'll have a div. Oops, I want to switch to black and white. We'll have a div box right here, div, and then with a class of comment. I'll put that here. Because this one's also going to be comment, we can put the same class here. But actually, in order to have two separate comments, we'll have to end our divs in between. So we'll have ending this comment div there, and then ending this comment div here. And inside each of those comments, we can have some things like the author. So maybe using like an H3 for the author, or an H3 for the comment title, maybe. We can do that in both of those. We can do an H4 for the comment author in both of those. And then maybe we'll leave a paragraph for some comment text. Oops, paragraph for some comment text. In each of them. Okay, so this is our game plan. We're going to be creating two new divs inside of each blog post, and those divs will be for comments. So let's go to our HTML code and see if we can code this. All right, so just like our game plan, well, I'll leave the game plan up over here. Just like our game plan showed, we're going to go into the blog post div, and we're going to add two new divs at the bottom. Each div is going to correspond to a comment, so why don't I just add one comment at a time? So I'll add one comment here. I've got the start of my comment, end of my comment, so those correspond to the two black pieces of text here. Now, inside of this comment box, we're going to put an H3, which is the comment title. We'll put an H4, which is the comment author. And we'll put a paragraph, which is the comment text. Okay, and I'm going to do two of these for the first blog post. I'm going to add two comments to each of my blog posts, actually. So 1, 2, and then blog post 3 needs 2 comments. So why don't we save this and refresh our blog so we can see what it looks like. So we can see the text for the comments is all set up down below. However, we haven't added any style to it, so we're going to have to style that div by using the comment class that we added. So we'll go up to our style tag, and now we're going to be programming in CSS, so we're not going to be using any less than or greater than signs. We'll just select, using a period, the comment class. And why don't we make the background of our comment class turquoise, and the color, let's just see how that looks. Save it and refresh it. So we've got 2 comments on each of them. We can do all sorts of styling to those comments, like the text is right up against the border here. And if you remember, space between the elements inside and the edge of a div is called padding. So let's add padding 20 pixels to each of our comments. Now, you notice that that actually eliminated the space in between the 2 comments. So, well, first off, 20 pixels looks like a lot. I'm going to change it to 15. But then also, the space in between the comments, space between the elements inside of a div and the border is called padding. Space in between 2 adjacent divs, or 2 divs back to back, is called margin. So we'll do margin bottom 10 pixels to add some space in between them. So now we've restored that space in between them. All right, so this is looking pretty good. I mean, obviously you can do a lot more styling, like border radius, 20 pixels or something. And you could even add a border to them. So I don't know, border, and border needs 3 arguments, right? So 5 pixels, solid, magenta. Maybe dashed would be better, or dotted would be better here. So save it, refresh it. All right, cool. These comments are starting to look great. Not really, but I don't know. You know, they never look that good when I make these videos, so I'll leave it to you guys to come up with some good-looking styles. So actually, this will be pretty much where you need to be for class tomorrow. Because what we're going to do is, after you create these comment boxes, we're going to rotate through the class and have people sit at your computer. They're going to read your blog post, and they're going to write by filling in these sort of category things, these sections. They're going to fill in what their comment is. So an example of what might happen is, let's say that one of you guys sits down at my blog and you're reading this blog post. So maybe it's actually my dog Sky who's doing this. So maybe he'll say comment post, the title of his post will be aggressive dog. Wow. And then since it's my dog, the author is going to be Sky. And then let's see, maybe his comment is, the dog in the picture looked really aggressive. I thought the hipster text was really funny. It reminded me of Brooklyn because that's where I live. And we'll save it, and then Sky can refresh the local copy, and his blog appears down here, or his blog comment appears down here. So then at that point, what we'll do is we'll rotate through to the next person, and we'll take turns commenting on each of our blogs. When finally everyone's commented on the blogs, what we're going to do is we're going to upload the new copy of the blog post to GitHub. So you'll notice that the local copy, the one on my computer, has been changing. But if I refresh the remote copy, nothing's changed. So in order to change the remote copy, what we have to do is we have to go back to our GitHub account. We're going to have to, let me make the screen a little bigger here for this one. We're going to have to re-upload our blog.html file. So let me just make sure. Okay, it's saved with all the comments. So now I'm going to click Upload Files. After I get all the comments from my peers, I'm going to drag over blog.html. I'm going to add a commit message, which maybe is adding new copy of blog with comments. And I'll commit those changes. So now if I go into the blog.html code, I can see that my comments are actually part of the HTML code. So let's see, in order to actually see the website that's online, we can go to the blog site, we can refresh it, and this time it worked. I got the 2 comments to appear for each blog post, and this is actually the remote copy. So now it matches the local copy. Remote means online, local means on my computer. So now, if that didn't work for you, what you can do is probably your browser is storing a cookie to prevent it from noticing that the HTML is actually changed. So let's say you didn't get the comments to appear. What you can do is you can copy the URL and you can open it in an incognito browser, which won't have the same cookies, and then you can actually see the comments. But it actually worked for me, surprisingly. All right, so this is what we're going to be doing in class on Monday, and we will, or Tuesday for one of my classes, Monday for the other. We'll go over this again. All right, hope this helped. Bye.